Nice to meet you.
Hi, I'm Dallas.
How are you guys doing?
How are you?
Good.
Yeah? Are you excited to be in London?
Are you kidding? It's one of the best cities in the world. I mean,
Yeah.
it's better than the old West.
Is it?
Yeah.
So, why did this film interest you? Why did you want to get involved? What was it about the script that you thought, wow?
Want to take it?
Yeah, we've been working with Craig for several years on other projects, and when we decided to make this movie, we set out to make specifically a Western on a budget, and we pulled it off. And we wanted to make something that would, you know, really be violent, action-packed, and scary. And I think we pulled it off.
I also grew up loving Westerns, so the opportunity to make one. I mean, Kurt Russell hasn't made a Western in 22, 23 years. It was kid screens for us, and it was the most exciting moment on the set ever.
So, how did you keep it on budget? How did you keep it?
Hard work and commitment to the script.
I tried to spend all the money, and he would stop me. That's basically the dynamic.
I think what you asked before about why I wanted to make it, I mean, the script was so good that all the actors and everyone, the crew, everyone involved just gave 120% because they love the material. And so that's how we were able to do it on the budget, because everyone's working, you know, their hardest.
Yeah, everyone on this film, they didn't come for the paycheck, that's for sure. And they came to work their butts off, and it shows. And that's how the movie got made.
Best guy ever. I mean, it's Kurt Russell.
He's the exact same on screen and off screen. And he is a tremendous force, and we love hanging out with him. We love making the movie.
Do you hang out now then?
Well, I'll tell you a story. We all went to dinner before the movie got made, and he is a big winemaker now. It's a big deal for him. And he brought a bottle of wine for the table, and it was tremendous. And he's just so proud of it, and he's become a good friend and a really, really great guy to know.
So, what is your favourite Western and your favourite horror? I want to know both.
Silverado and The Lost Boys.
Oh, The Lost Boys is incredible. I love it.
I can't choose Bone Tomahawk, right?
No, you can't.
Magnificent Seven and Halloween.
Yeah, Halloween's great.
It's great. Anything John Carpenter from the early years is my favorite stuff. Thing is amazing, and obviously, I mean, so I would sit on set every day and be like, so Kurt, you were in the Thing. And it's just amazing. Couldn't find a better way to cap it off.
That's a good story. So in between takes, Kurt would have his mic on, and Richard Jenkins would have his mic on, and they would be talking because they really became best friends on set. And we would be sitting, you know, by the camera with our earphones on, just listening to these stories from the 80s and 90s and just all of their history. That was actually pretty fun.
Sounds amazing.
Yeah, and I'll go to the grave with all those stories. I can't tell them, but they're great.
For me, it's interesting because that word is probably one of the most debatable words ever used with anything that is extreme, and certainly the scenes of violence in this movie, probably three in particular that are very extreme, but they all inform the story. A lot of them are about characters to whom the violence is not happening, but we're witnessing the violence, and so it's my approach to violence, I'd say, is very dry. And in general, like, I didn't want the movie to be really stylized. I wanted to capture the performances and get out of the way of it. I didn't need to tell people, look, I'm the director, I can do these nifty camera tricks. And it's the same thing with the violence. Like, I wanted it to feel very, very real. It kind of goes back to it's kind of the end of high school. I was traumatized by a Hong Kong movie called Men Behind the Sun. And it's the story of basically a Japanese camp where they were doing experiments on Chinese prisoners, and it is hideous. And it was the only movie I've ever had to shut off, but it wasn't sensationalistic in any way. It was just a dry presentation of all of this, and it's, you know, more than 20 years later, it stayed with me. And that, as opposed to someone gets cut and there's blood spraying everywhere, which is a little bit like Monty Python, and not to me violent. So downplaying the squirting blood and playing up the, you know, and embracing the humans going through the agony and them dealing with what's happening was important to me. So I'm sure I will see people refer to it as gratuitous. It always informs the story, so I don't think it is, but people definitely use the word, you know, gratuitous and extreme. They use these interchangeably. I mean, I enjoy a lot of that, you know, Italian horror stuff, and I grew up on that, but that's not the style of this movie at all. It's just not what I wanted to do.
So, how did you keep within your budget? Because I know it was made on quite a low budget, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yes, it was. It was what we had, and we had a crew and a cast that really believed in the material, and then after they met me, believed in the project, that it could actually happen, because reading this and looking what's on screen, like we shot it in 21 days, and the budget was incredibly small. So it was really, there were a lot of people who were there not for a paycheck, but because they believed. I mean, most of the actors in this are getting one of the worst paychecks they've ever received, if not actual like minimum union wage. And that's how it happens. You get, I was fortunate to have a bunch of fantastic performers on there, and you're not going to move at that speed unless you have performers of that caliber giving you something of substance the first time you start blocking these scenes on location.
What's Kurt like? Because the producers did tell me that he tells a lot of stories on set, and he's got some amazing stories to tell as well.
Sure. Kurt is that guy has a ton of personality and a lot of enthusiasm. He was the first of the people still involved in the cast. He was the first one to come on board, and he stayed with us throughout. And he's very blunt, as am I, and we certainly had some disagreements about different things, and some of these yielded some of the better moments of the movie. And he had a lot of helpful suggestions from all of his experience, particularly some of the blocking of violent moments. And so, I mean, this guy's has an amount of experience that's almost awe-inspiring in terms of being on the set and figuring stuff out. We were shooting in Paramount Ranch, where he shot in, I believe it was Gunsmoke, almost 50 years earlier. So that's how long he's been doing it. So blocking out a scene or beating out a moment in, a violence or action or suspense, he had just a ton of helpful suggestions, and it was, certainly bettered the movie.
Okay. Favorite horror, favorite western?
Favorite horror, how about Night of the Living Dead and Rosemary's Baby? I'll give you both of those.
Brilliant.
And Western, Wild Bunch and Once Upon a Time in the West.
Thank you very much. Congratulations on the
Great.
film.
Thank you very much.
I wish you all the success.
Thank you.